This is the ancient art of belly dancing as taught by Jamila.
Very old custom to play finger cymbals. You know, ancient times. They played them in various sizes, some one on each hand, and some, you know, 3 women in a row playing them on each other. You couldn't have 4 because they were too big, so you'd have 2 on each hand and they'd be playing them on each other's, you know, cymbals. But then also they used them in the Coptic church and the Ethiopian church, and also the sistrum, the ancient symbol of Isis, is still used by the Ethiopians. Well, I think that the women that did the dance were associated with a very early form of religion. And I think that no matter what, they were attached to a sect that did dance in the name of a deity, a female deity. And we all know that the female deity was the first goddess, and that she was all-powerful for at least 4,000 years, and she was very influential in the early religions also, up to the present day. The origin of the dance is originally ritualistic, and then when any ritual becomes outdated or is thought to be not acceptable by another culture, then the ritual becomes like a dance pantomime, and from a dance pantomime goes into the realm of becoming a dance. It's like the dancers that were exported for ritualistic purposes adapted some of the dialects, you know, even dance dialects of the areas that they went to. If they came from the Tigris-Euphrates area and went to Spain, they adapted some of the Spanish ways, and if they went to North Africa, they became more North African. I had a chance to dance with top Turkish dancers, Algerian dancers, Egyptian dancers, and what I am teaching now is a composite of some of the best dancers I've ever seen. I think it originated in Mesopotamia, and I think it comes from an imitation of childbearing. I think that it comes from, you know, watching the stomach in child labor. And I think that it's an imitation of giving birth. I think the original portion of the dance is the center portion.
You mentioned something about coins were a symbol of a woman's wealth, or she...
Well, when a girl started to dance, usually she was instructed just visually and orally, you know, in the dance. And when she reached the age of puberty is when she actually became a professional dancer, which would have been 12, 13, 14 years old. And in that she was dancing for a public that knew that the way she was compensated was to reward her with money, they would throw coins or, you know, give coins. And usually the coins were Venetian sequins, which incidentally are not sequins as we know them, but rather gold coins, solid gold, Italian minted coins, and also silver coins, and nothing else, nothing less. I mean, they would have gold stomachers, and that would be 22 karat gold.
Where would you like to take belly dancing in this country?
Well, I think that if every teacher that teaches belly dancing takes the dance really seriously and thinks of it in the same way that you would think of ballet or the classical dance of Bharatanatyam or any higher form of modern dance, there are levels of achievement. And I think that my primary interest is raising the level of the dance so that it becomes a very difficult but truly artistic dance art form. And I think that I've produced a couple of dancers that are doing this, and they too like a science. They take what I give them, and because they're younger, more inspired, more limber, they do it better, and they go on from there to do it better and even better and even better.
Okay, so stand position, feet good and far apart, so you're close to the ground to start with. Knees good and bent. Don't stop yourself in midair. Look up, one hand down. When you decide to go, start to go down, push upward. Yeah. But remember, your back is not arched. Your body is straight. It's not an arch. Your body is straight, completely straight.
Oh, when you're going up, I mean,
When you
down
start
like
to
this,
fall.
it's not an arch, but it's
No, if you arch while you're going down, you're throwing your weight back. You don't want to arch. You want to sit. You want to sit and keep looking up so that
The sword dance has a very interesting background because there were many people that contributed to the sword dance, and upon investigation you find that most of the swords that these girls have are sabers from the Turkish occupation, sabers. And these girls would make it a practice to secure somehow from the military the swords and use it to balance on their heads. The sword dance, to my knowledge, is not in use now in Egypt. I've heard that there are dancers that dance with swords, but not really popularly. I think that we have revived it and encouraged it in the United States. So now it's become a competition to see how much you can do with the sword. I think that the Mother Goddess took positive and negative forms as the religion became very sophisticated. Our snake dance is patterned after the Cretan Mother Goddess, you know, or the Cretan goddess with the adders. We don't use adders because that would be one fantastic finale. Originally, the tattoos were tribal identification, and also mystical significance. They were magical, religious significance, ward off the evil eye kind of thing. And then now I think mostly the tattoo is beautification. But of course it isn't being done very much anymore because it's considered a barbaric practice. At one time all of the females from particular tribes had tattoos on both cheeks, in the chin and the forehead. Bal Anat is a combination of two words. It's a French word and also it's a Mesopotamian word. Anat was the benevolent mother goddess, and we would like to think that this is a positive thought. She was a patroness of women in labor. And Baal, even though it sounds like the god Baal, it's not with two A's, it's just with one, B-A-L. And so it just means the dance of the mother goddess, Anat. Again comes from a folk dance in imitation of the girls going from the town to the well or, to the river to get water to go back. I think they've made folk dances out of almost everything: washing the clothes, carrying the water, having the baby.